and we picked the 5 that are on the EP, and we went to work.
Right. Yeah. That's a really forward-thinking label. It's been a lot of fun working with them so far.
Yeah, I mean, John's a good guy. I mean, he just, he's not going to overmanage me, or us, I should say. He's not going to, tell us exactly what to do, but, I run everything by him. He heard the songs, he heard the ideas, he loved all the ideas, and then we actually brought him down and we started tracking. And, going from like the pre-production that I can do in my little home studio to actually full-blown, and when you start to hear it come alive, that's when, his eyes lit up and I knew we were, he was happy with what we're doing. And obviously if the boss is happy with what you're doing, then, they're going to push you along. And that's what we wanted, when I see the smile on his face, and, I don't worry too much.
Right.
Yeah, he's always been so, like, personable to deal with, coming out to the shows and, everything like that. He's very, how are you? How are things? Everything good, that means a lot, really. I don't think musicians hear that enough from, all people involved at times, so that's really nice to hear. Just like, hey, what's up? You good? Is everything good? How are you? It's just good to hear from him. I think it was a few months ago, we did like a little limited edition release of one of the bigger shows that we played, and I think that he went and like bought his personal CD out of his car for a fan, So, like, but like, what does that tell you about who he is? It's just really, really good guy, really good guy.
Yeah,
yeah, and that is that's a great story. But what happened was, we had 50 commemorative CDs on like a soft release at a show we did, and we didn't really promote it too much, but people had heard a song on one of the online radio stations, and we ended up selling all 50, and I had people coming up to me asking me, at our merch booth for more CDs, and I looked at John, I'm like, man, do you have any more CDs? And he's like, I'm going to take my brother's, I'm going to take mine, and I'm going to take my girl, or my fiance, so I can get you 3 more. And he went out in the car and like dug them out and brought them in so the fans could get their CDs. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool, man. That's dedication right there.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the songwriting hierarchy is considered in the group, I mean, where does the majority of the material coming from? Is it a collective?
Yeah, it is. And let me start, and Justin can finish up. It usually starts with a guitar lick or an idea that I come up with it in my little studio here. And then I'll get together with our singer, and we will just lay down tracks to a click. No drums, no anything. And then we have kind of like a mishmash song that goes over to Justin, and then, he has free reign to create what I call the dynamic. And then, Justin, you want to take it from there, explain kind of how you work out your parts. And then, then we take it to the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for Knife in My Back, Anthony and I got together and kind of worked that one out. We did the same with Shattered and Stained as well. Now I think of it. But the others, yeah, he just gave me kind of a scratch guitar track, and I won't tell you something that's not true. It was everything was kind of last minute whenever I went in to record those drum parts. So, I sat with them for a few days and really kind of went into the studio, and everything that you hear on the record, that was all worked out like in the studio, just doing it, recording it, so which I'm really proud of how everything came out. But yeah, for that process, like I said, Knife in My Back and Shattered and Stained, those two we got together with and kind of found the direction and figured out what we were going to do. But the other 3, Erase My Memories, Damage, and I Don't Know, that was all just in the studio and kind of working it out. So, yeah. And, like I said, finding that groove for the chorus, kind of figuring that out, and then trying to let the choruses breathe as much as possible. yeah, try to change things up when it's appropriate, but, you know, just kind of getting, I like to call it the meat and potatoes of the song first and foremost. And yeah, it's pretty much how Retribution came about.
And then once Justin gets that all down, I mean, his parts are final. Then I take those drum tracks back home to my studio, and then I'll put the final guitar down. I get together with Scotty, the vocalist, again. We'll put down one more track of pre-production vocals. Charlie puts his bass down, then we take all that information over to Mike Ofka at Innovation Studios, and then we do the real thing. You know, Scotty goes again to the studio with all the tracks and starts layering vocals, harmonies, and everything that you hear.
That's awesome, man. Now, you know, I've heard you guys described as alternative rock and, you know, and melodic hard rock. Which one of those two fits you guys the best, do you think?
I think we're a rock band.
Yeah.
Hard rock band. You know, I think every musician, you know, says the same thing, but just being labeled and categorized, it puts a cap on you, you know? I think that we're a rock band, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that's something that maybe the name belies a little bit, that you guys are just straight ahead, punchy hard rock, you know?
Yeah. It's cool because our fans are really, I mean, there's kids that dig the songs, you know. Yeah, I've had like some family friends or whatever with their kids that sing along to some of the older stuff, or they like Shattered and Stained. But, you know, there's a lot of male and female fans that, you know, so it's like, yeah, you can say we're a hard rock, punchy in your face kind of band, but then there's also like females that love the choruses and whatever. So it's hard to pinpoint that, which is great to see. You know, I love to see just a wide variety of fan base. Yeah, I like to just say we're a rock band.
Yeah, definitely. I think that fits really well. Now, you guys have obviously been out on the road with a lot of different diverse groups. I know you guys did some stuff with Jakey Lee's Red Dragon Cartel and a couple other different groups. How well have you guys received with all those different types of groups?
Well, Justin has played on a lot of those shows, some not, but you know, I think on everything we've done, we've received well. I mean, we've done, and I don't just say that by, you know, people coming and, you know, blowing smoke. It's like, hey, people are coming up to the merch booth, leaving with a CD, leaving with a T-shirt, leaving with a sticker, leaving with a schedule, you know, leaving with something. I mean, I don't think we've ever had anything negative, you know, said after a show. Justin, you can jump in too and maybe give a little bit of, you know, your experience when we play those, you know, with those bands.
Yeah, it's kind of what Anthony said, but people just kind of coming up and introducing themselves. We've played on, you know, like the national shows that were direct support or whatever, and there are times where people are, you know, they hear us and they're there and, you know, they're kind of paying attention, but, you know, nobody really comes up and says anything at the end, and that's going to happen. You know, there's no way around that, but man, the past few, we opened up for Winger, Sebastian Bach, Warrant, you know, those are some of the recent, and fans, you know, of those fans came up and were like, oh man, love what you're doing, you know, when you guys play more, you play around Pittsburgh, what's the deal? So yeah, seeing it more frequently, yeah, it was cool. I was just telling these guys that we're doing rehearsals for our CD release recently, and I had a lady come up to me, and she was like, oh, you playing that band Spoke 9? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, I saw you open up for Sebastian Bach. And that's cool to hear, because at times you're like, man, are we getting anywhere long term with these shows? You know, yeah, we're selling merch and people are digging the stuff, but it was cool to have somebody remember, you know, that show specifically, you know, so, yeah.
One last question for you gentlemen. Again, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're really busy. When you guys have been touring, what kind of set list are you working with? Are you pretty much playing everything from the two EPs?